Okay, I want to talk about the Nazirite vow and hair, especially black hair. The characteristics of our hair is that it curls. If I zoom in, they're natural curls. That is because our hair is like antennas. Okay? Look at the Tesla coil, a coil. Therefore, our hair attracts energy. That's why it's a Tesla coil. These are conductors of energy. Antennas, which means they soak in energy and transmit energy, vibrations. You look up music, when you put a bass sound, a boom, that's vibrations. Those are coils, sound waves. Light and sound are vibrations. Okay? We see things on the electromagnetic spectrum. Everything's a vibration. And when I took my Nazirite vow, number 6, don't cut your hair, don't eat grapes, and don't come in contact with dead bodies, I realized that everything is spiritual. We were born, especially throughout schools, to be, we were raised up to be very secular minded, very, you take earth science, natural science, learn about rocks and clouds. And, we really are taught to be very secular. But, the more I did this Nazirite vow, the more I realized is everything spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Relationships, war, family, friends, your job, energy, entering into spaces, vibrations. This is why they joke about, that Thanksgiving plate. Love low vibrational food. Okay? Everything has a intent and a vibration to it. Okay? So our hair is very important. Even in African civilizations, from the beginning of time to today, the hair has always symbolized something. Maybe a woman will get her hair braided because she's married or because she's single. Maybe she's an elder. The Bantu knots, braids, afros. There's many different types of hairstyles. The Fulani braids, dreadlocks. Hair is very important. Even in Egypt, the blue crown, the kapresh. You notice that there are coils on the kapresh, which represented the natural curls and the locks of the king's head, the pharaoh's hair. Even before the era of the pharaohs, the dreadlocks had always symbolized rulership in Egypt, ancient Kemet, Egypt. You look at the Buddha's hair, locks. You go back to the Israelites, number 6, dreadlocks. From Samson, I believe Devorah had locks because she was a Nazirite. Samuel, dreadlocks. Okay? So Samson's strength was in his hair, okay? But at the same time, the hair is also symbolic. Okay, yes, there's power in the hair, but never think twice that the power doesn't come from God first, okay? The power is truly God. Whether you got hair or you're bald, okay? King David, King Solomon, Jesus, Peter, Samuel, their power really was God. So don't get anything twisted. Okay. Okay. But regardless of that, Samuel's power was in his hair. So let's just say it was symbolic. It's a very big analogy there. Okay. So when Delilah had cut Samson's hair for silver from the Amalekites. Okay. She cut his hair to betray him. In turn, that took away his power, and he was tied up to one of their temples that, to worship their idols, and they would mock him when his hair was cut. They, just have a blast, party around him, dance around him, may probably spit in his face, throw food at him. I don't know, but I know they would mock and heckle at him. But his hair started to grow back, and when his hair grew back, so did his powers. Okay. So there must be a reason why she wanted to cut his hair. There must be a reason why men and our women are taught to cut our hair, put on these wigs and these weaves. That is a violation of your sacred nature and spirituality. Even in tests of the United States Army, when they were, dealing with transferring the American natives, and putting them in service in the military, they required them to get their hair cut. And a big reason of that is when they had their hair longer, they were much more spiritual. They were much more reactive to things around them. And it did have a lot to do with their power, even with these Native Americans in recent times. Hair is very big. If it wasn't so important, there wouldn't be such a big push for our men to get our haircuts, get a little fade, for our women to get them put those wigs on and those weaves. There's a big push on that for a reason. It's not just aesthetic. It's not just for the eyes. Okay, it's not just cosmetic. It's spiritual. There's reasons behind it. Okay. There's reasons, like I said before, when Black women were wearing their hair in these afros during the Black Panther movement, they were the most beautiful women. They were naturally attracting all men, whether it's Black men, white men, Mexican men, Asian men. They were just so darn gorgeous. Okay? So of course, people that envy your beauty and your role as the creator of nature and all life, they want you to not be in your power. Okay? So the Nazirite vow, don't cut your hair, okay? I'm not saying there's something wrong with, a brother getting a fade or even a sister wearing a wig every now and then, though I am against it in a sense, okay? Stop being mad at brothers that say they want you to be natural, okay? Because it's not my job as a Black man, it's not my job to enforce white supremacist ideologies, okay? That's not my job, to pander to white supremacists, okay? I like my nature, I respect nature, and I want my woman to also be in her nature, okay? That is really a compliment. When a brother tells you to wear your natural hair, that's a compliment. You should be mad at the ones who's telling you put that wig on, actually. But are you so blinded, okay? Trying to appease the dominant society. That's idols, false idols, okay? You shouldn't even want to be at any job that makes you wear your wig, or any friends. Even if you have to date outside the race, why can't you be in your nature? If they can't accept you as you from head to toe, Fuck them. Okay. So, I guess I'll talk a little bit about my own personal Nazirite vow. Like I said, I became more spiritual. I realized everything is spiritual. Everything. Okay. That's when I could tell somebody is on their shit, when they realize everything is spiritual. Okay. A lot of people still caught up secular. That's really, that's low vibrational to me. Okay. That's very low vibration thinking. You're not wise until you realize everything is spiritual. That's why, okay, I wanted to, oh yeah, Samuel and Gideon. I'm sorry, Samuel and King David, okay? Two Nazirites. Okay. So Samuel was a Nazirite leading the Israelites. And he won all his battles without a military. He was defeating armies without a military because he relied on God and his strength. And all throughout the Bible, you see stories like that. Even the Exodus with Moses, Aaron, and Joshua. Rely on Jesus. Rely on God's strength. Was always the message, whether they were in captivity or sovereign. Okay? So Samuel relied on God's power, and he was rewarded for it. I don't think he ever had to pick up a sword, okay? But then the people, Samuel's trying to warn his people against the wanting kings, but his people wanted kings just like the other countries around them. They wanted to be like everybody else. They wanted to have a king like everybody else. But Samuel told him, he said, this king is going to want taxes from you. He's going to want your sons and daughters in the wars. Okay? He said, ultimately, these kings will bring you to ruin. Samuel had tried to warn them, but since they insisted so much, then that is after the fact. That was when Samuel had anointed King David. Okay? He said, okay, I'm going to give y'all what you want. And God authorized it. Okay? And Samuel anointed King David. Okay? So now that's when King David started having these battles for Israel. But really, all they ever had to do from the beginning was rely on God.